As a kid, I was like most boys, especially bows and arrows, harpoons even. I discovered harpoons, building rafts, building dams, being in nature. I'm still like a kid in this, in that I have this sheer joy to work with natural materials. The gathering and the putting together and studying the old ways from experimental archaeology and even scholarly pursuits. It's really like a kid in a candy shop. So as I grew older and met Inuit and Greenlanders in Greenland on my jobs in Greenland as an apprentice guide, I met people who were living with kayaks and harpoons. Even in the 60s, they were still in Greenland using these old tools, and I just got, wow, this is so technical. And so I stayed with it and got a degree in archaeology that helped me do the scholarly research part of it. But I just continued the building. All the way from telescopes to birch bark canoes and bows. So the blending of that scholarly with the actual building is an intertwined process that I can't pick apart tidily, but it's very intertwined. So as I'm doing this, saying, okay, we're going to bring this apart and we're going to do some things to make this start to look like a canoe. I'm thinking that the pictures and working with elders on birch bark canoes is all feeding into me. The scholarship is just there. We have lots of young people coming here and they love this sort of work. Their bridging to landscape is, I think it's the most important thing I do, and Joan and I are in that together. My painting has really been influenced tremendously by Joan sharing with me her journey through being an artist, a painter and sculptor and so on, and she's really helped me see art in a different way than just representational.
Whereas Don's work is more aligning with traditional technologies and how to build the canoe or the bow of different types, I really am free form and just being led by the materials that I'm bringing together. And as they talk to me, I respond. I really think of it like a conversation. We definitely influence each other creatively. I think the main thing is, though our work is on parallel paths, we really inspire each other. And we love exploring ideas together. We just seem to always be talking, whether it's focused on projects I'm engrossed in, or the work he's doing, or what we've each been reading. We're great at just talking and enjoying that, and wonderful ideas might come forward from that into our process and our work. So we're very lucky. I always loved being out there by the creeks and rivers, having picnics, climbing the hills, climbing the peaks with pack on as soon as, I think I was 12 when, as a family, or my father and my brother and I would first go backpacking, and loved it. And I've just always been intrigued by both the grandscapes and the minutiae. So I'd play with the natural materials then. I had no concept that I was going to be an artist later on. It is true, I'm diverse in my work. I think it's been that way since I began in art. That actually started for me about age 50. I really just had a sense that I wanted to learn to draw and learn to paint. And to be honest, it was such a revelation to start to see in relationship of lines and shapes instead of a tree, and recognizing the negative shapes and on, was a real discovery for me, and I just loved it. And then, of course, it seemed, I went into the degree program. I started off two-dimensional in my interests, but very quickly as I started to do studio practice, I realized that two-dimensional just wasn't the full voice for me. I was thinking of a lot of installation ideas and sculpture ideas, and I got into three-dimensional pretty quickly. And so it's always been a mixture for me. I love drawing, painting, mixed media, and I love doing sculptural work. I've used a lot of traditional materials, but I love working with found materials and natural materials and combining them, things that I hope will have a voice for others as well as myself. It does often happen for me that I discover pieces at Don's shop that I just, without thinking about it, want to collect and see if I take them further. So what I do love to do is watch for interesting shapes and materials like the birch bark, and then bring them into new context and forms. I had always been so influenced by the natural world and enjoyed, and it's just such a part of my sense of myself. So it's quite natural that that became part of my art as well.
Joan influences me so much in my work when we're just hanging out and we're slipping into talking about her art or my art, and she'll bring up something that was totally off my radar, and just going, I never thought of it that way.
I feel such gratefulness to be a part of this community and to have so much support and inspiration. It's so fun to respond to materials, find out what they'll do for you, and not let feeling like you have to make something right or get it a certain way. Experiment and have fun. It really is, at least when you're starting, it's a lot of play and letting yourself feel that freedom without a whole lot of thoughts about how it has to be. So go for it. Have fun.